Hey guys, it's JJ. Real quick before we get started with episode number 74, I just wanted to give a couple of quick thank yous. First and foremost to SoPro Gaming for once again letting us record it in their space and be able to go in there and take up one of their offices and just go bananas with, you know, all the stuff that we were recording. And we were there for a long time the other night when they had the lock-in and had such a great time. Really, really big shout out to Tony, Lee, Mike, and Chris over there at SoPro. Without you guys, you know, we've been gaining listeners, obviously, through you, but you've also, you know, with your support, been giving us the motivation to keep making a show that we can be proud of. So I can't thank you enough for all that you've done. Also, I wanted to thank all of the people who came and actually sat down with us and took the time to just tell us about what inspired them when it came to gaming. I can't tell you how amazing it felt to be able to just sit with you guys and gals and just hear what inspired you about gaming and be able to use that as a platform to share your thoughts with the rest of the world. All of that together has really come through amazingly well, and I think you're really, really going to enjoy this new episode that we have for you guys. We're 74 deep now, and honestly, I think this has probably been one of my favorites to record by far, just because of the amount of people that we have on, and how well it went, and how smooth everything went, and I'm just really, really excited, and I'm rambling now, and just wanted to say thank you to all you guys. So without any further ado, here is episode number 74, Gaming Inspirations. Hello and welcome to episode number 74 of the Frozen North Gaming Podcast. My name is JJ, and I'm going to screw with Mark on this intro.
Uh-oh.
My name is Brian, everybody. How are you today?
Hey, my name is Mark. Howdy,
That's what I was
y'all.
going for. You didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
the
back.
long pause.
It's back. Brian, way to pick up the slack.
Howdy, y'all!
Oh, my God.
What's up?
He got me back. He got me back.
We here at the
Yeah.
Frozen North do apologize for any ear doctors.
You're
that-
lucky that this kind of soundproofs it a little bit. I'm wearing some Pikachu hat ears. Hat
with little
dongly
dongles.
Pokeballs.
He's got dongles, everyone.
It's
I do.
pretty cute.
I am.
He's
I'm
dongly.
I'm a cute dude. I'm an effing cute guy. Get it? Because
Yeah, I know.
effing
Yep.
with the. Okay,
I did get it.
So, episode 74, guys. We
Yes.
are sitting here at SoPro Gaming. We did introduce each other, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mark,
well,
you said.
Yeah, my name's Mark.
Okay,
yeah,
just making
yeah.
sure.
I
Just
said,
making sure.
yeah.
We're
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 good.
up here at the. We're very professional. That's
Absolutely.
number one is professionalism here at Frozen North.
100%.
We're here at Frozen.
We're here at-
We're at-
I can't
we're
talk.
at-
I
wow.
can't do it.
Hold
I
on.
cannot
We're
talk
here at
at all.
SoPro at the lock-in the day before Halloween. We'll be here at
Day of
at
Halloween.
Halloween.
At Halloween.
Yes.
Hashtag at Halloween. Lol.
There you have it.
Costumes.
Exact. You just pretty much summed up everything. They got a costume party going on. They got a handful of people here right now. From what I understand, the place is going to be sold out. It should be a really, really good time. Once we get done doing this, we're gonna get some gaming in and be here for a while. And then in the morning, we're gonna be dead tired and want to go home and go to sleep. But I told these guys we were gonna do a recap at the end of the night, so they're stuck with me until the morning. Should be a good time. Sorry, Mark, you're the only one that really cares. So.
Oh, well.
Way to be a team player. I'm proud
Oops.
of you. Oh, man. But we're going to be talking about gaming inspirations today. We're also going to try and get some people in here and maybe do a couple interviews on what other people are inspired by in regards to gaming. So it should be a good time. Get to hear some new voices, and we'll have some fun.
You bet.
What have you guys been playing?
Mark?
Oh, that's me first.
Yeah.
Oh, my. I played... I did a test of Twitch with JJ the other day, and I played some Perfect Dark Zero.
You thought I was bad.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to have to come up with a new name
Like
for my Twitch
20
stream.
minutes trying to unlock a door.
Wait, what's your Twitch stream name?
I don't know, it's just like pasta, whatever. But I'm going to change it to like...
Pasta
I don't want
whatever.
to... They don't need to know my screen name.
Pasta whatever.
But I'm going to get a new one, like Lousy at Games or something.
What were you actually playing? Like, what have you been actually playing, though? Nothing?
Just no.
Wedding?
Hold on. No. Yes. No. The Witcher 2. Still. Yes. But not very much. So
Unbelievable.
sorry to disappoint.
Unbelievable.
You're used to it.
Are you to chapter 3 yet?
No.
Oh my gosh, Mark! You know,
I'm very.
one letdown after
no.
another.
I like to make sure to do.
How do you know
everything.
whether I'm let down or not?
Well-
How do you know that?
Fair enough.
Exactly.
You got
1-0.
me.
I win. I'll go next.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have been playing Tales of Zestiria like crazy. I am like the last couple of Tales games have been a little bit underwhelming for me. Still very, very good games, but this one, I don't know what it is. It really, really sucked me in. If you haven't played a Tales game before, this is a great one. Like I've recommended Tales of Symphonia before. This is a great introduction into the series. This one, Vesperia, and like I said, Symphonia. But fantastic, fantastic game. And then played a little bit of Uncharted 2, and I beat Halo 3 and 4. So the last few episodes, I've beaten 2 games.
I beat a game once.
I'm pretty hardcore. I'm not gonna lie.
Pretty good.
But I did so because Halo 5 came out, and I played a little bit of that, and a little underwhelming, to be honest. The gameplay is amazing, and I haven't played too much of the single-player campaign, but the AI is awful.
Gosh.
Running into walls and stuff, and it was just...
That bad?
It wasn't good. I mean, it was playable, obviously.
Right.
But the guns and all that stuff, and I mean, 343 did an amazing job just putting together a good shooter. But then I got into multiplayer because I was really excited for Warzone, and in concept, it sounds amazing because you're trying to get 1,000 points for your team, and you can do that through PvP, you can do that through PvE, you can do that through taking down big bosses, you can do that through capturing points, that kind of stuff. But the maps are so small
That stinks.
that no matter what you do, you're always going to be in PvP. So even if you're you know what, I'm going to help my team by going and killing bosses and getting points that way, it doesn't matter because you're all everything's in the same place pretty much.
Right.
So it's just one big mess.
That
I
stinks.
mean, it was still fun, and if you like PvP, you're still probably going to get a kick out of it.
Sure.
And like I said, the gameplay is solid. It was just a little disappointing, that's all. But it's still a very great game, and if you've got an Xbox One, I recommend it.
Good.
So, and well, we'll talk a little bit about Twitch a little later. But Brian,
I haven't actually been playing. I've been marking it up lately. This last week
Hey.
has been pretty much
Marking
no
it up.
video games at all. Last weekend, however, though, I marathoned Uncharted 2 and 3. And the story behind
I've
that
seen you
is-
on there a lot.
Yeah. Last weekend. So here's what happened. I played Uncharted 1 the week prior. I have the Uncharted collection for PS4, right? I played it the week prior, and I was like, okay, I beat 1, and I was like, should I hold off on 2? And I was like, 1 kind of made me wet my whistle for 2. I've played them before, but they have it now updated graphics in 60 frames per second, so it's so good. And so I think last Friday night, I was like, well, I'll play through 2 and just, get that out of my way, and then I'll play 3 later. Well, as soon as I finished 2, I was like, oh, I really want to play 3. So I fired. I mean, they're not overly long games. They're about 6 to 7 hours each.
Yeah, I think I beat the first one in about 7.
Yeah. I think the second one's the longest. The second one clocked in at around 8 hours, but fantastic set pieces in 2 and 3. 3 being my favorite, but wow.
So was 1? I mean, I only played the new updated version of 1. Was it a lot better than the original?
By the biggest margin. I remember in 1, the graphics, they updated all the textures, updated all the graphics, and then having a shooter at 60 frames per second is, I found aiming in the games on the PS3 were a lot tougher because 30 frames per second, it's just not as smooth. I mean, obviously.
Right.
So I just found aiming in the first one so much better. Everything was improved, and it's by far the worst game out of the series. So yeah, fan
And I like it.
fantastic. And I've also been playing a tiny bit of Destiny here and there. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play it, and that sucks. Work's been picking up since the holiday rush. So
Right.
I work at a countertop company, and everybody wants countertops before the Christmas. So
Blech.
yeah,
Yeah, typical people.
So,
in their
are you
countertop wanting.
Yes.
You're going to make some time for Ghetto, Hugo, and
Hold
Chris?
on. I was just about to say I haven't started Suikoden 3 yet, but I know Future Brian. By the time you guys are listening to this podcast, I will have played it. So let's go over to Future Brian.
You got called out by Ryan on our Facebook page.
Let me go to Future Brian here, because by the time you're listening to this podcast, I will have played it. I just haven't played it.
You will
as
have
we're recording.
put the disc in and started
No, you know what's
playing.
funny? I put the disc in and watched the opening, which is fantastic. And then I was like, about to hit start game, and I was like, man, I only have an hour and a half. I go, I don't want to commit yet until I have a big swath of time. So hopefully, I can find that tomorrow night. And guess what, Future Brian, how's the game? Well, Brian, it's really fun. I'm having a really
This is happening right now.
Future Brian's a lot like
is
like
happening.
me.
Yeah, I'm having a whole lot of fun. I would recommend it. As
Is it a fun game?
It's really fun.
Is the music fun?
The music is fun. The gameplay is fun.
Yep.
It's a fun.
Got that?
It's fun.
Is that fun?
Thank you, Future Brian. You can have a seat over there.
Well, you know, like references.
So, if yes, I don't like references. It's just Future Brian is kind of a jerk. I just don't like him hanging out. You know,
Get out of here, Future Brian.
I want him out of the
Fair
studio.
enough.
It's as
Get
simple
out.
as that. Every
Walk
time that
out.
guy comes around, something breaks.
He always knows all the bad stuff that's going to happen to you, and he never tells you.
Right, exactly. Like,
Oh, man.
I mean,
What a jerk. I
ridiculous.
kicked him out. Don't worry. He's
Thank
gone.
you.
He's
Thank
gone.
you. Future Brian.
I hate him too.
If you would like to send us an email, you can do so at frozennorthpodcast@gmail.com. Our website is fngaming.net. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/thefrozennorth. Our Twitter is at fnpodcast. We have a blog at frozennorthpodcast.blogspot.com. Joining the family of network outreach surface platforms. I don't even know.
What?
What would you call these
I agree.
things?
Podcasts.
We'll
The
call ourselves
internet.
Anyways, we're on Twitch now.
a motion to the court here. Can we call ourselves the Collective?
No,
did
sounds a little
Future
too
Brian
culty.
give you that suggestion?
Nope.
You are lying, aren't you?
No.
Unbelievable. No,
Future
you
Mark.
tell that guy.
Future Mark gave me that one.
Anyways, well, that guy's a jerk too. We are on Twitch now at twitch.tv/Frozen North Games. I kind of tested it out a little bit, and works really well with my PlayStation. And there's a little bit of a delay, and I think there were some issues that Twitch was having the other day when we were trying it out. But works really well. I had a good time showing off how terrible I am at Uncharted 2, but it was really fun. And hopefully, I'm looking at possibly doing like Wednesday and Thursday nights, just going on there. And I want to be clear, this isn't like a push to become a professional streamer by any means or anything like that. This is literally because like we don't have a forum.
Yeah.
We have a Reddit, but we don't really even
Yeah,
use it
don't-
that much.
don't go
We
there.
acknowledge that.
Yeah.
This is just another way we would like to reach out to people and get to know people and talk to people.
Interaction.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm lazy when it comes to typing, so I can
it's-
talk.
Yeah,
this
it's
way.
fan interaction, or as I like to call it, fan interaction.
Oh,
So yeah, definitely go check it out. If you are following us on Twitter, that's the kind of the link that I tested out the other night, and it works beautifully. So follow us on Twitter at FN Podcast, and you will see when I go live on there. Hopefully, we can get maybe Mark and Brian and even maybe some other people kind of just streaming every now and then, and just get a little community going. So be kind of cool. We'll see what that holds, but
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Frozen North Games.
so you're going to put the camera closer to your face, right? When you do it for real.
What is it with you and
Look,
wanting
your
to
face
be
is so small on the stream.
JJ. Future Mark
I'm
really
feeling
wants
the
to see
Red Bull
JJ.
now. I'm getting really
It's
amped up.
Here's the
here.
thing. Hold on, guys. We're at the all night-a-thon here at SoPro, and Mark doesn't drink energy drinks, but
Yeah.
he has to stay the whole time because we're doing some more recording at the end of the night. We did that on purpose to trap him here. So now he
end of the
has.
show is going to be great. You're going
Oh,
to just
yeah.
hear this massive difference. Like
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
Here's, here's what we're doing. Right now.
There's probably going to be some bleeps in there because we're
Yeah.
going to let a few slip.
You bet.
And as always, we would love for you to subscribe to and rate us on iTunes. Just topping that off.
Boom.
The more you do that, the more other people see us, and the more fun we have on our social platform website
The collective
network.
The collective.
collective.
The Frozen North
North
Collective.
I
Yeah.
I keep hitting the table, and I apologize if anybody's listening, and I just made a loud bang in your ear. Sorry. Brian, what do we have for news? I
Okay,
think we're
guys.
all amped up on Red Bull and really tired from work today.
Well, now that we've gotten rid of Future Brian, let's head over to News Brian. He's right here. Hey guys, it's News Brian. Gonna talk about some news.
Hi, News Brian.
Hey, how are you doing, Mark? How are you doing? It's
I'm
News
good.
Brian. All right, let's talk about Mirror's Edge Catalyst. It has been delayed
Buh.
to May 2016. Reading the article, it does look like that they're trying to. It's the old classic. Hey, here's our release date. Oh, the game's not going to be ready by then, so let's give us some more time to polish it. They want to make sure that the game, the City of Glass and the experience, the Rise of Faith, that it's entertaining, impressive, and as memorable as it can be. So
Good.
Mirror's Edge Fervor, gonna have to wait a little bit more.
I mean, when was it going to come out?
I think it was going to come out early 2016, so I think they gave themselves a couple months.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So
There's plenty of other games.
Yep. Miyamoto promises aggressive use of their IPs with the NX. So what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Here's a quote from Miyamoto. We are going to be far more aggressive in using our IP and not just stop with licensing. Oh, my goodness.
I just read the quote. I'm sorry. I had an advanced reaction. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting there. Okay. So
Nintendo.
let me read
I'm
this
wearing a
first.
Pikachu hat.
Let me read this first sentence first. So we're going to be far more aggressive in using our IP and not stop with licensing as in the past. Okay, Nintendo's onto something here. They know that they need to pump out themselves more first-party support for their IPs, right? And then we get to the second sentence of this. The first example is Amiibo. Yeah, I said that.
That wasn't the part that I was looking at. It was the next line.
Yeah, hold on. We want our IP to better reach more children, and smart devices is just one vehicle.
That's good because Nintendo's been so not kid-friendly for a while now
Yeah.
that
We really got to focus more on the kids.
I
mean, when I
have
read,
so much respect for Miyamoto, like
Yeah.
for what he's done for the gaming industry. You can't not.
right.
But like, dude,
Look, they're making a business decision and they're going for it. But I read
what
the
business
quote
decision?
to focus on the children and pump out Amiibos and smart devices.
Have their games like? Do they consider their games to be a little too mature? I don't.
think so. Samus has a pretty big bust.
Do you? True.
Yeah.
Do you have anything about their first Android app they're working on?
No, I do not.
Which is
Mark.
apparently it just like brings the Mii's onto your Android
Yeah.
device and lets you like talk to your friends.
I just
live
feel
on
like
this
literally
planet
all
anymore.
it is.
I feel like Nintendo's got a dartboard at their board meetings, and they're like, okay, what's our next idea? Boom! Oh, okay, we'll go with that. Anyway, to wrap this little...
Always lands on kids.
Yeah, it's kids. This sounds good at first, but as they say, actions are 9/10 of the law, and possession is
not
louder
as-
than words.
Oh boy.
You actually typed all that out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, actions, they are 9/10 of the law, and then, of course, possessions, they're louder than words, or some
Just
such
repeat
thing.
yourself.
Well, I'm just trying to drive it home. And then there was a little bit of interesting thing happened on Reddit. Apparently, the canceled Darth Maul game that got brushed to the wayside a while ago, maybe actually resurrected. The creator, Dan Borth, of Red Fry Studio, basically went on Reddit and was saying like, hey, we're trying to, shop this and get this made, to the glee of, everyone. Because I think Darth Maul is kind of like the Boba Fett of the first movies. He's kind of the cult classic guy that everyone loves.
Are there
Yeah.
cult classic guys in any of the prequel movies?
No, but if you would consider one to be, it would be Darth Maul.
I agree.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
pretty exciting. This kind of came on a Reddit post. Funny enough, it just was up there and it got to the front page, and so made some pretty big splashes in Reddit's world. So that's kind of cool. It's really, just rumor at this point, but just to know that he's really trying to get it made. I would love to play a Darth Maul game, so that would be fun. And then, okay, so this next article is more about a discussion. So Destiny's microtransactions are dominating PSN right now. That's both scary and also sign of the times. They're working. They're making Activision and Bungie a lot of money. They are the number one thing being sold. They sell silver. It's a currency. Now, the good news is that currency can really only buy you like emotes. Funny enough, which that's so surprising that the people are dropping real money for these emotes.
Yep.
What's good about that is at least that's a microtransaction that doesn't affect the game in any sort of way other than like cosmetic. So,
Yeah.
but the fact that the gamers, if you don't like microtransactions, buying them in droves is not going to make companies stop.
Well, my brother has spent hundreds of dollars on Hearthstone card packs. Yep. So
Is he really?
yeah,
John.
and all of his coworkers do it too.
So when I hear gamers moan when a company they announce microtransactions for a game, and that's just a huge bad point, I point out that, hey guys, you're buying them, so companies are going to continue to add them to games.
It's true.
Sorry,
It's true.
That's a smart business decision. So a little bit of that there.
It wouldn't do it if there was no money in it.
Absolutely. If you didn't buy them, if you don't like them, don't buy them. Don't go, I hate these, but I'm going to buy this cool emote. Okay, well, you're literally...
It really doesn't bother me as long as they stick to keeping it like cosmetics and stuff.
And that's
like,
what
whatever.
Destiny's doing right. Hey, it doesn't affect the game in any way at all other than their character can
That's
do a cool
fine.
emote. Cool. And then the last bit of news, real quick. If you're a PC fan like me and you wanted to play Batman, it's finally back on the PC. And if you get it before November 16th, you'll get some free stuff. You'll also get access to the community challenge pack about a week before the consoles, kind of the Rocksteady's, apology, I would say. You get a little bit of DLC and some early access. 4 months later after release, see how good the game runs. But for me, I'm going to wait till it's deeply discounted on Steam to buy it. At this point, might as well wait. So, but
did it come out at full price?
yeah. I think $39.99. To be honest with you, actually, it's a little dip, but still sucks when that happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully they learn their lesson. What can you do? Anyway, guys, News Brian is going to be signing off now. Signing off, guys. News Brian gone, and I'm back. How you guys doing?
News Brian sounded a little like Captain Kirk in the way that he talked.
Thank you, News Brian.
First item on the news.
Hello.
We're talking about Ubisoft. Next up on the docket, as it were,
We have a docket?
We do, sort of. Kind of. I got a
JJ doesn't share it
Microsoft
with
Word
us.
file. Yeah,
Oh.
I absolutely do every time.
Share with us every time, Mark.
Ugh. Why else would I give you crap about your top 5 way before it even comes out on the show? Apology accepted. 1-0. I win.
My top 5 is the best.
That's. I guess if you were the only one in that competition, yes, it is the best. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to try and get some people in here, and we're going to talk inspiration in gaming today. We, as far as us, gaming is our passion, obviously. We have inspirational characters. We have inspirational video games. We have inspirational people that are in the industry, anything like that. Something in the gaming world has hit us at some point, and we're kind of bringing that out of people and seeing what they have to say. Then that's going to be what our top 5 list is towards the end of the show. Top five influential games. So, without any further ado, let's head on over to the interviews.
Interviews.
All right, we are here with
Lee Jarman.
and
Matthew White.
all right, welcome guys. We're talking inspiration in gaming today. So, tell us what inspires you that's gaming related.
Well, I would say definitely streamers. One in particular was Ketchrock. I was big into StarCraft 2 is whenever I really started getting involved in gaming. And he has extremely low APM, and he is a Master Leaguer. So he basically made it seem like you don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be the quickest to have the best strategy that ends up winning the game.
You
so,
pointed
yeah.
him out to me when you were showing me stuff.
Yeah. He's great.
Gave me a little hope.
Yeah, he's got
There you
crazy PF defense. So definitely somebody to check out. His name's Ketchrock.
Cool.
I actually started gaming a long time ago with my older brother Josh. He got me gaming with his buddies on Halo 1. And I remember at a really young age, these guys were probably like 18, I'm like 12, and I'm beating all these guys at Halo 1. So that kind of what got me excited about gaming, got me into it. And then, of course, most people have played World of Warcraft, and that's kind of where
Sure.
I got into the more nerdier games, like all the Star Wars games, and just any kind of game like that is my thing.
You know what though? That's like that speaks volumes about A, the kind of gamer you are, and B, like about gaming in general. Is that you can come in being like, I think Madden looks great, or I think Call of Duty looks great, and you can come out playing Final Fantasy or
Yep.
freaking StarCraft or just some other genre just because you were pulled in at some point. And I guarantee you, Halo is one of the big ones out there for a lot of people.
Definitely.
Halo 2 was a big influence on me, for
well,
sure.
if you know my past in gaming, I was the broest of bro games back when I first started.
You were the broest of bro games.
Yes, gamers. But I evolved over the years to gravitate more. I still have my I have to have like one competitive game that I play because it satisfies my need. But I've kind of evolved into a gamer who plays story-based games.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like weird. You start out like I don't care about story. I just want to shoot people. And Halo 1 was a big one for me. StarCraft 1 was a big one for me. I just wanted to play against people. Didn't really care about story. And then as I evolved as a gamer, I was like, well, I'm going to play those games that are like movies.
Exactly.
But,
Yep.
yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
All right, and we are sitting down with
Rob.
Rob. Good to have you here, man. Tell us what inspires you.
Well, I've seen actually up here at SoPro something really inspiring, which is people that I think I can tell typically wouldn't be very social or get out very much.
Yeah.
Up here hanging out with people and talking to people and just kind of, I feel like getting out of their comfort zone.
Yep.
Definitely.
And for me, that's really cool. You
Well,
know,
that's
really
the cool thing. We've always talked this place up. That's the cool about SoPro is gamers are very stereotypically, I'll stay in my basement and
Yep.
play my computer, interact online. But when you come here, I think the thing is when you go out in the public places, and you're a gamer, you don't know if people are going to accept that.
Right.
But here, everyone's a gamer, so you know, oh, okay, it's cool. I can be a gamer and
Yeah.
socialize. It's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've done interviews with the owners, Tony and Lee. Well, two of the owners, Tony and Lee, several times, and I mean that was like the biggest draw was that you get people here who aren't used to going out, hanging out with friends. I know, me personally, growing up, I didn't tell anybody that I was a gamer at all. It wasn't until I started working with some other people who I found out just randomly that they played World of Warcraft. I was like, holy crap, somebody else played, and Brian was actually one of them. I was like, you play, and just kind of one of those scratching your head, like, you play, it's cool, I think, right? It's cool, yeah, oh, yeah,
Are we
okay.
safe? Is this a safe zone?
And then it almost makes you kind of sit back and be like, how many times did I miss out on meeting other people because I
Yeah.
was too scared to say something? And, that's exactly just what you're saying. We're seeing that here. People are coming in and who wouldn't normally be social coming in and being like, playing League? Oh, dude, who do you use? And they just, right there, just a connection.
Yeah, it's happened to me. I mean, I typically come up here alone, and I know the owners too, and we're buddies, and I game with them. But I've already made 3 or 4 friends up here that I just met because
Yeah.
I ask them what game they're playing, and they say Heroes, and I'm like, let's play, and
Nice.
we just have a good time. And
Like Heroes over League?
yeah,
Thank you.
yes.
High five.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, man.
I
We do too.
League was I tried League, but it was just it wasn't fun.
I
for me.
literally
don't know.
tried. My friend played it, and he was like, "Dude, you gotta play it." I've never been a MOBA fan.
Right.
I was like, "Oh, you know what? Hey, I was StarCraft 2 all the time." I was like, "Well, I'll compete." And then I got in the league, and the community at the time was so volatile. I was like, "Well, this is not even."
Yeah.
I'm new, so
Yeah,
I'm
if I'm not pretty good at something, then I get really frustrated
Yes.
with online games. And
Absolutely.
it was just too hard to pick up to get just decent enough to where I could kind of have some fun. But with Heroes, it was like,
right.
right away it was fun.
It's Blizzard,
you know?
man. They just make things so accessible
Yeah.
and so easy. And I mean, I've watched people play, and I've seen the tournaments up here for League, and it's stellar just seeing how into it people are.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether I like the game or not, I can't deny how big of an impact
Oh,
it
yeah.
has on the gaming world.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that you're seeing that bring so many people together who wouldn't have otherwise, talked to each other in person, rather than saying like, "Oh, your mom's fat," blah blah blah, to each other online, and that's about it.
Right.
They're coming into places like this, and they're connecting with each other, and it's awesome because being a gamer does have that stigma of being an antisocial basement dweller, and we're proving that that's not true as long as we have the right setting and the right opportunity to go against that.
Yeah, and I think that with places like this, you're really going to see the power, especially the economic power of gaming, because as more and more people get comfortable with it, it's just going to become more and more normal and accepted, and the popularity is just going to grow and grow and grow, I think. So
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Cool, man. Got anything else?
No, I look forward to playing some Heroes tonight with you guys, right?
You bet.
I am down 100%.
I'm
Absolutely.
Nova.
We both brought our. Oh, you didn't bring.
But I can just hop on one of
You
the.
should be able to hop on one of the
Yeah.
other ones. Yeah. Well, either way, we will. I've got mine, so we'll definitely play at some point.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm not very good though. I'm going to warn you right now. So
I'll carry you.
be prepared to yell at me a lot.
I carry all the owners up here too. So
Sweet.
I'm used
Sounds
to-
good. Sounds good. I know the basic rules. I just you're going to face palm a lot when you see what I do. But anyways,
It's all right.
cool, man. Well, thanks for taking the time out,
Yeah,
and
thank you,
we'll
guys.
definitely see you out on the floor.
Great.
Cool. All right, and we are here with
Rachel.
and
Alex.
all right. We're all here at SoPro, obviously. Still, what inspires you guys?
Well, I study animation, and I've long aspired to make cartoons, animated movies. But when I see games that can tell a really impressive story, it really sucks me in. It's like I'm playing a movie, but I'm actually inside it. That's why I love games like Borderlands, Portal, a lot of Telltale brands like Wolf Among Us and the Sam and Max games are really
She's got good taste.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like Portal 2 especially because I fell in love with Wheatley. Like I really wish there was a real person like him in my life.
Oh yeah.
He's just so freaking lovable.
Definitely, absolutely.
And I really like a lot of those same games for a different reason, though, because I really love game design and mechanics in games and really looking at games doing new things. And so Portal's definitely a big one for that.
Oh, yeah.
Taking on a different concept puzzle.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, gosh, it's the fact that I mean, I'm probably older than everybody in this room right now, but like growing up and seeing these games like the way they were when they first started out, Nintendo, Sega, and just the earlier stuff, and seeing what they can do now is just mind blowing. Especially games like Portal and storytelling like Borderlands, where it's nonstop action, but at the same time there is something in there where you're paying attention, you're wanting to know what's going on with each of these characters, and Wheatley's phenomenal, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, Portal 2 ranks up there on my favorite story-driven character games ever. I mean,
that's how our show started, was
Yeah.
story-driven games. That's always, I mean, most of our shows are about that, and so I mean, you're speaking our language when you talk that kind of stuff,
yeah.
and we've got a friend of ours who's really big into game design as well. So it's just. There's so many facets and so many ways that this stuff can impact people. It's just so awesome to see that.
Yeah.
And everybody we've interviewed so far has had a completely different answer, and that's exactly what we wanted to hear. So, I mean, do you guys have anything else?
Like in terms of questions or
In terms of like anything else
Anything
that
you wanna talk
inspires
about?
you gaming
Well,
wise?
I would say, like, growing up in the 90s, I was a little girl, so I thought video games were for boys. You know the drill.
Sure.
And so it's, I love how much games have become, adults all grew up with the notion that video games are just shooting and stuff
Right.
and promoting
Oh, yeah.
violence. But no, they actually, was it Robert or Ebert, those film critics? One of them said that video games will never be art.
I had a rant on him actually.
Yep, you did.
I did.
Yeah, but now
Yeah.
actually, but it's amazing how much it's come a long way to not just be all about shooting stuff or
Right.
driving cars. It actually sometimes it immerses me in ways that would be even more effective than animated movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like a book. You got a great story, but you really don't have anything to work with there as far as visuals. A movie, you don't really have any interaction. So, I mean, a video game marries everything together. And so you have, in my opinion, the best vehicle for storytelling.
Sometimes when I play games like Amnesia and stuff,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I want it to be less immersive because I'm so scared that I want to cry.
Same with me in Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, exactly.
When I played Amnesia, though, at first I was so frightened, and I kind of went in blackout mode. I was like, well, I can't let this affect me. So I was just kind of like, I'm just going to run forward and not think about anything.
Yeah, or until Five Nights at Freddy's, I felt the same way about Slender, but
Yeah.
that game makes Slender Man look like a cuddly teddy bear.
Yeah.
No joke.
And I love seeing games especially like Amnesia, like you said, whenever the mechanics, because there's no fight mechanic in
Right.
that, and that really helps tell the story. And I think that really helps you get into it.
Absolutely.
More than pretty much anything else, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Well, it kind of strips the gamer of what they're used to, of being in control. They're like, I have to run.
Yeah.
And that is terrifying.
It's one of those, you're in this world,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Yep.
This is what we're giving you. And in that game, it's not much.
Yep.
Yeah, or in Five Nights at Freddy's case, you can't run, you can't hide, you just have to hold out till 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and we are sitting down with
Eric.
and
Derek.
all right, guys. So, when it comes to gaming, what inspires you?
Go ahead. Well, for me, it kind of is like a twofold question for me, at least, because one of the dreams I have is to create video games.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in that respect, a lot of different things inspire me outside of the video game medium of video games in particular. For me, in that respect, a lot of the inspiration comes from more like TV shows and stuff that I watch, stuff like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones stuff that really take the viewer on a journey where they watch the world change around them.
Right.
What I like about video games is instead of having the person consuming the media be a passive observer, you actually put them in the story. games like Spec Ops: The Line, which I don't know if you guys played
Oh,
it
yeah.
at all. Yeah, it's they put you in the story and they make you do something and face the consequences of it.
Yep.
Games like Portal make you, go through all this stuff.
Immersion.
Yeah, immersion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And because you're able to basically not force the player to do stuff, but force the player to do stuff, it's a much more immersive medium than than I think movies, TV, all that stuff put together. So
I imagine you're pretty excited for VR.
yeah. I mean, it has its uses. I mean, to be honest, the setup that you have right now, mouse and keyboard or controller,
Right.
the immersion factor really comes down to the story itself, and a lot of that goes into creating believable characters, which video games are getting fantastic at now.
Absolutely.
Stuff like The Last of Us, all the stuff that's coming out. It's
Wait a minute. Mario was a very believable character back in the 80s.
I mean,
When I played him, I was like, yeah, I could definitely see this Italian plumber running around this world with giant turtles and also Goombas.
after he used a few mushrooms, sure, yeah, definitely.
See?
Mushrooms solve all the issues.
They do.
No, I mean you're absolutely right.
Yep.
We actually our podcast started on story focused gaming. Like that's kind of where we got our roots from. When I started it, that's what I was really into. And then through the podcast, I actually got into other stuff as well. So we've kind of just like gotten a little bit of everything since then. But I mean, if you've got a good story, if you've got engaging characters and you can relate to something in there, a game can just suck you right in. And I mean, it's reading a book is great, watching a movie is great, but are you controlling anything in there?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
are you actually moving around as that character? You're not, and it's awesome what it can do.
Absolutely. I remember one of the games for the GameCube, Tales of Symphonia. There've only been,
That's my favorite game in the series.
it's so good. But there have only been like one or two games that have affected me like it were when it ended and the credits rolled. I was just, no matter how happy the ending was, I was sad because it was over. Like that game, Portal 2, I think maybe a handful of others. And like that really is like, I think how it should be. At the end of Lord of the Rings, when those credits roll, you're like, awesome, but I'm sad that it's over.
Sure,
And that's,
absolutely.
even though it's a happy ending, you're still kind of that part of the journey is done. And so I think that's the mark of a good anything in a medium is that it's kind of bittersweet when you're done with it.
Absolutely. Have you played Zestiria, the new one?
Zestiria? I have not.
It's fantastic.
I know there was Tales of Valkyria.
I'm not sure. The last one before this was it Vesperia?
Actually, it probably was Vesperia.
Was there something? There was something in between the two. Zillia 2, and then there was Tales of Hearts R as well.
I know they
Yeah,
made
and there's a lot of them.
I know they made a Tales of Symphonia too, but it only came out in Japan, which is
Dawn of the New World. No, it's out here too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on. Actually, if you get the remastered edition that they have on PS3, it comes with both games, but it came out on the Wii.
really.
It's okay. It's very Pokemon-esque.
Oh, really?
Went into my hat, but it's like you're instead of having I liked it, but I was a little disappointed because I loved the cast of Tales of Symphonia. This has 2 new characters as the main 2, and then the other 2 party members are monsters that you catch, and then you see the other characters from the original game and everything, and it's the same world, but I don't know. It's just kind of like I wanted the other stuff, and you actually do get some of those characters to join you, but they don't even level up.
The dynamic's just not there.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a little disappointing. I could talk about it for hours, to be honest with you. But we
got multiple left. So,
so Eric, what about you, man? What's on your mind?
honestly, guys, gaming didn't really start coming into my life probably up until I moved out of my own parents' home.
Wow.
I had a little bit of history playing Diablo 2. That was really my first telltale story. Line and different
Tons
things.
of hours in that game.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, completely took over my life at that point in time. I remember, being at school and just wanting to get home to play
you're just
that
thinking
game.
okay, I'm gonna do a
I
bail run.
cannot freaking wait. Yeah.
I'm gonna go do my Fister run, and then I gotta go to Nightmare, and I gotta get further. Yeah,
Right.
I've been
Yes.
there.
Yes. Exactly. Secret cow level and all that
Yeah,
fun stuff.
exactly.
But I started in Diablo 2, and just kind of developed into first-person shooters. But I've got to say, one thing that probably inspires me more than maybe necessarily the video games itself is just the different communities that are out there. I mean, granted, you can find yourself in a League community where it's not always too friendly.
Sure.
Right.
You know, but you can also find yourselves in various games like Rocket League or anything like that, or, you know, even have communities like this store, So Pro Gaming, pop up out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's stuff like that inspires me more than anything, is just the people. Not necessarily just the game itself or a game specifically, but, you know, just being around people, kind of learning more about them. And, you know, I always felt like the gaming community needed a place like this, needed something where gamers could congregate and meet each other, you know what I mean, in physical form, not just virtual.
Gamers unite.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, we've interviewed the owners of this place a couple of times, and I mean, it always just comes down to that, is like, you know, we want that central meeting place where, because there's, I mean, we've said it a million times on the show, there's that stigma that gamers have that they're just basement dwelling, you know, introverts who
Cheetos in their shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Empty bottles of Mountain Dew all over the place and stuff, which. Honestly, and a lot of times it is true. But at the same time, if you get them to come outside and walk into a place like this, they're going to get a whole new mindset. They're going to be able to walk up to somebody, you know, and not be like, I don't know if I should tell this person that I'm into video games. Because it's like, obviously you're into freaking video games.
Right.
You're in a place like this. So, I mean, it's awesome to be able to come to a place like this. And I mean, like I told you guys before, we've been interviewing people all night, and everybody's just so diverse in their answers on what's been, you know, on their mind as far as gaming goes, and we have not had the same answer twice. It's been absolutely spectacular, and it's just been an absolute pleasure getting to talk to everybody.
Yep.
So and you know, without a place like this, that really wouldn't be. I mean, I'm not going to ask everybody to come over to my apartment, so it's not, you know.
I mean, I like you.
Right, exactly. But okay, yeah. I mean, you guys got anything else? It's really nice to meet another Tales fan finally.
I can't believe more people aren't.
No joke, right? We had well, yeah, I know Kyle, Ryan's brother. We had another guy earlier who said he was really big into Final Fantasy, and that's also one of my favorite series.
Yeah, I've never actually played one of those. I know it's a travesty.
Wait, you never played a Final Fantasy?
I did not. The amount of work that it took my parents.
The more
to get
you
a
talk,
GameCube.
the more I die inside. Just stop.
So you have?
I've played a couple different Final Fantasies.
What's your favorite?
Honestly, I really like 10.
10?
Yeah,
it's not a bad
cool.
Yeah,
no, it's a really good
like,
one to get people into the series.
Yeah.
Right,
for sure.
Yeah, it was just different. I mean, I can't remember which one it was. He had a tail and all that going on.
9.
It wasn't 9.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah. I like 9 too.
I know way too much about this.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate that because I couldn't for the life of me.
Instantly.
Yeah, seriously.
6 has always been my favorite, and I've gushed about it on the show 1,000 times over.
Maybe I'm too young for that. I don't know.
It's Super Nintendo sprite graphics, and but
a little
it's
before my time.
One of the best, like, just if you can get past the graphics and go back and put yourself in the position of, you know, Super Nintendo era.
Yeah.
It was so far ahead of its time. And if you look on any, you know, top RPGs of all time list on the internet,
Final Fantasy is always
6
there.
is almost always near the top.
Is it?
Unless it's like, you know, a fanboy site, and then you're going to see 7 all over the place. Which I love 7, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of people who are just gush about that and don't want to hear any negative criticisms about it whatsoever.
7 is the one with Aerith and Sephiroth, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I know that much.
Yep.
At least you got back.
That was the big one that
Yeah.
that hit like a freight train when it came out. Okay, well, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out to talk to us.
Yeah,
and hang
let us
out.
know if you ever need anyone to talk to again.
Absolutely, we will. We'll be back here for sure. I'm sure we'll be back here for more lock-ins, and we'll get with people, and we'd love to have you back for sure. So
Right on.
we will see you out on the floor.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Keep
Appreciate
on
you.
gaming.
I'll see you guys there.
See ya.
See ya.
Adios.
All right, later.
All right, and your name is?
Eric, or Urkable Gamer on my YouTube and Twitch channel. That is youtube.com/ERKABLEGAMER.
Awesome. We got a YouTuber and you stream too?
A little bit here and there, no set schedule or anything, but I do put up videos typically Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I have actually seen a couple of your videos, and I can vouch. First of all, I can vouch that Bloodborne looks really, really hard, and I don't want to fight the Cleric Beast at all.
I have beaten Bloodborne.
Yeah, we know because you announced it at the
and
last
I've beaten
time we were here.
Bloodborne
to
with
everybody.
the secret boss at the end. So can I get some sort of rain?
Go step outside. It's raining.
I think he beats me.
There
You
you
can
go.
get that blood shower after the boss fight.
Yeah, I love it.
So we're talking inspiration in gaming today. What's as far as like inspiration, characters, games. Obviously, you love gaming because you're doing the YouTube thing and stuff. What has hit you really hard, gaming wise?
Well, whenever I thought about this, it goes back to my very first game memory, which was Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Nice.
Which I actually did a little bit of research. That game came out a year and a half before I was born.
Wow.
And it is my very first gaming memory. It was magical for me. It like showed me like everything that games could be. It was this huge, basically the first open world game, kinda.
It still holds up today.
Yeah, and it still holds up incredibly well today. Just the feeling of going on this epic quest, saving the princess, yada yada yada.
Definitely.
Let me stop you right there, JJ. And Ambush, top 3 favorite games of all time. Go.
In no particular order: Dead Rising 1, The Last of Us, and Elder Scrolls 4: Oblivion.
Nice. Hey,
Oblivion.
There we go.
Nice.
Good. That's the way to respond to that. Ambush. Mark would not do well if I ambush top 5 to
You
top
could
3.
give me 5 minutes and I wouldn't feel answered.
No joke.
So good job.
Well, yeah, definitely. Thanks for taking the time out. And one more time, what's the YouTube channel?
Is Erkable Gamer, ERKABLEGAMER.
All right, Eric. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good one. All right, we are here with
Zaid.
And
Nick.
All right, guys. So when it comes to gaming, what inspires you?
Well, I like League of Legends. Basically, what inspired me to play was one of my buddies showed me one of these Twitch streamers. His name was Cowsep, and I really liked it, and I ended up started playing like 6 months ago.
And now he totally kicks butt. I seen him.
I will say Zaid may or may not be related to me.
Allegedly.
So allegedly. And I can attest that he knows a hell of a lot more what he's doing in that game than I do, for sure. And I mean, you were telling me before that you really like watching these high-end streamers. You're actually going to be staying. I mean, we're at SoPro right now, but you're going to be. You said you're going to stay through and watch the finals tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I would not be able to. I'm going to be dead tired. I'm just old though.
Me going sleepies.
I mean, that stuff, even if you're not into the game, it's so entertaining to watch. And they're going to be like having it like on ESPN and stuff eventually too, right?
I've heard about that, yeah.
Is that? I mean, that's got to be awesome to see, because there's so many butthurt people about that. Too.
Oh yeah.
But I kind of. I mean, that's just the way it is. The way it's going.
It's the way the world. It's the way the cookie is 9/10 of the law.
You're just making stuff up. 100%. Oh my gosh. Nick, what about you, man?
I don't know. I just really like playing with my friends. So these types of games like League of Legends and stuff, they just help me hang out with my friends when I can't really go anywhere.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, there's how many of you guys came up with a whole group, right?
Yeah.
How many of you are there?
6.
6. Oh, man, jeez.
Are y'all playing the League of the Legends?
Yep.
Yes.
Who's the best?
Bacon.
Not me. Not him.
Definitely
not him.
He's out there.
Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right though. I mean that is, and especially in a place like this, like SoPro Gaming. I remember when Zaid first saw you and it was JB were at my place and you guys saw this SoPro sticker on my computer. You know SoPro? And I was like, psh, VIP man, come on now. We came up here and hung out for a few hours and I mean, so what do you think about the place now? It's changed a little bit.
I love it. I love coming here.
Yeah, it's
definitely
freaking
worth
awesome.
the money.
For sure.
We missed our school dance for this.
Heck yeah, school dance.
More like goes to school dance.
More like school dance. More like khaki pants.
Or school dance.
See, this is why sometimes we don't give him a mic.
Oh, I'm feeling real
good. Do you
good.
have him in the stream every week or the podcast every week?
Yep, we do. We do.
It's legit.
I know, and it's going to make you stop listening, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, sorry, I'm not going to tune in this.
Hey,
that's fine. Hey. Oh man. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on, and we look forward to see some more League out of you tonight. And you gonna play anything else, or just pretty much sticking to League all night?
Maybe Super Smash Bros. But that.
Boom! Look at these pros
solid.
over here.
Yeah,
Solid.
maybe some Cards Against Humanity. That game's always fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll let you get back to it. Thank you very much again for hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, and we are here with
Caleb
and
Jeremy.
All right, guys, what inspires you?
Well, I would have to say Resident Evil, mainly number 4. Love it to death. You guys can't see me right now. I'm dressed up in full body armor Resident Evil gear.
He looks fantastic, by the way.
He is literally wearing I can see the umbrella symbol. He's got everything you could ever want in a
awesome.
Resident Evil gear. It's fantastic.
We almost didn't need to interview him. We were like, oh, well, okay, we'll just mark that one down.
Yeah.
I actually belong to a charitable group here in Kansas City. They're called the Umbrella Corporation. We go around and do a lot of public services, charities.
Awesome.
We did the zombie walk about a couple weeks ago to raise food for the homeless or the needy that need food. Basically,
Yeah.
the whole theme of it was let the dead feed the living.
Does the Umbrella Corporation also create serums for purposes of war, but then they turn into zombies?
They're not allowed to talk about that aspect
Oh,
of it, but,
There were several characters up there. 2 of the founding members. One was dressed up as a scientist, which had the antivirus
Yep.
and the T-virus.
Oh, the T-virus.
Our main guy that founded the organization, I'm underdressed compared to him.
Oh, boy.
He is
impressive.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. His name's Ronald Vector from Resident Evil Raccoon City. He goes all out. Full face mask, voice communicator, glowing lights on
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
his
fantastic.
armor.
That's great. That's so cool. You guys just do that just because?
Just to have fun.
That's great.
We went
Love
to
it.
a battered woman shelter a while back, a couple weeks ago, just to trunk or treat with the kids there.
Cool. Is there like a website or anything that people can go
Yes,
to?
there is. The website's called. It's on Facebook. Umbrella Corp KC. That's what you'll find under on Facebook.
Okay,
Cool.
Great. Yeah, go check them out for sure.
Yep.
Excellent. What inspires you?
My inspiration probably came from the Final Fantasy. The reason it came into existence being the fact that it was their final hope of saving their company.
Amen, brother.
And just all the stories that they've entailed, from tactics to Mythic Quest to the actual series.
I got a question
I'm
for
getting
him.
goosebumps right
okay,
now,
hold
'cause
on.
that's
so
awesome.
he's huge Final Fantasy. That's his thing. How do you feel about 13?
13 was not my favorite for the fact that it was so autoplay.
Right.
You really didn't get to control your characters. If
cheering right
the
now.
story wasn't horrid, it was if you go compared to our Final Fantasies.
Right.
But just the fact that it was more of a movie than an actual game.
It didn't feel like a final. It didn't have that Final Fantasy feeling to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our friend Matt is raging right now.
Yeah. Right. So, what's your favorite one in the series?
It's a tie between 4, 6, and 8.
8. That's my favorite. So
And 6 is my favorite, and 4 is like.
I love
right here.
on 8 how you can go so micromanage, and near the very beginning you can top out most of your stats.
Yep.
8
I've-
you can pretty much play how you want.
I've sat there in the first town and just sat there and played the card game, got the cards, enchanted them, made
man.
characters the best characters.
I was like that with Pokemon when it first came out.
Yeah.
Oh, ditto. Well, I'm wearing a freaking
I
Pikachu
know.
hat.
I have all the old school cards. I wish I would have sold them when they're still popular.
Yeah.
I have all the Jungles Fossils, Second Edition, Team Rocket, Trainer, Japanese, some Japanese version, and Dark. Team Rocket.
legit.
Wow. Awesome.
Legit collection.
Heck yes. And I'm a collector myself of too many video games.
Yeah.
Way too many.
I think we're all in the same boat as that.
I collect games, and you have to go into the fact that I have over 4,000 Magic cards, and then if you go to Yu-Gi-Oh, I have like 13,000 plus.
That's what I should have invested in.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, no kidding. You
It's
got
amazing.
yourself a little nest egg there.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Gaming and I do a lot of guns as well. I have quite a bit of guns at the house.
Oh,
I go out. That's my release in life. Is just go to the shooting range, the farm, and just go with some buddies, shoot some clay pigeons. My other hobby, of course, is gaming. That's been my that's probably been my release from when I was probably 8. Bad day at school, just go home, get
can all
lost in the
relate.
games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And having a place like this now here in KC where you can come in and do stuff like this where, 12 hours straight of just playing these games. I can tell you as soon as we get done with these interviews, that's where we're going to be over there
Oh,
playing.
my goodness.
Yeah, awesome. Great answers, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Anything else?
I also love anything Marvel. That was a big inspiration with Captain America,
Absolutely.
Iron Man. People coming from nothing to become great people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Okay, well, appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Thanks for having us.
And we will definitely see you out on the floor.
Will do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and we are here with...
I'm Kiefer Curry, Fox89.
And...
I'm Debbie Hill, Catwoman by night.
All right. We're, like we said, we're hanging out at SoPro, and we're here to talk about gaming inspiration. So, what inspires you?
Honestly, I'm going to keep it kind of modern. League of Legends. Kind of...
yeah.
I know it's kind of typical now.
Is that a popular game that people play?
Something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's on iPhone or something.
Yeah, something. I heard
mobile.
it. Yeah, I heard about
real
it.
underground stuff.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
I think it's in like early access or something. You know,
Yeah.
some DayZ style stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of gotten me to be competitive again.
Yeah.
I had this long lull in gaming where I was just kind of sitting on Skyrim and things like that, just by myself, and I decided I want to get competitive again. It's one of those things like you can get so bogged down in RPG screens.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
And you forget that there's like other people out there that you got to beat.
Yeah, you got to win.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Winning's the thing, and you can kill 1,000 mud crabs and level up, but when you kill like 5 other guys, that's
it's more satisfying when you make the other guy cry.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What'd they say? Humans are the most dangerous game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's
right. Come on.
I'm just waiting for that island simulator. Everybody's on the island. You got to hunt.
I would imagine you're far from alone in that. I would say League is influencing people that aren't even gamers. What with it, getting ready to be on TV and stuff now. So,
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, me and my girlfriend both play it. She was kind of a casual gamer at first. She's better than me by a lot.
That's not a bad thing.
No.
Yeah, I mean, she's playing Gnar and just wrecking it.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good deal.
Well, even like speaking of Skyrim, though, it gives you a lot of time for self-reflection because you spend 5 hours creating your face and getting your eyebrows just right, the glabella, and then you never see your face again in the rest of the game. So
that's
true because you wear that really cool helmet.
The really cool helmet,
Especially if you put on body slider and whatnot, and you're like, I'm gonna get deep into this percentages.
My waist has to be just so, just so.
Exactly. So, what inspires you?
Well, I'm not going to stick with one game. It's more of a company.
Sure.
And I'm very platform neutral. I will play anything, on everything, for everything, by everything.
Amen.
But one company has been with me my entire life, and I do not mean that lightly. I've been playing since I was 1 year old.
Nice.
And that would be Nintendo. My very first game was Hogan's Alley, totally kid-friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Where you have the NES Zapper, and you're shooting the people. And,
Yeah.
And my dad would help me play that game and actually taught me to read. I learned to read from that game.
That's
and
awesome.
ever since then, I still have all my consoles from the NES all the way to the Wii U. And it's permeated my family throughout the history of time. It's brought us together. We would talk about it all the time when I was younger. Now, not so much.
Right.
And particularly, Princess Peach is my role model because all the turmoil she goes through.
She gets captured all the time.
And she's so powerful, though.
Right. But she's
so
like,
powerful.
I'll let you take me this time,
I
Mario.
don't know, man. Do you subscribe to the theory that possibly she is just trying to escape Mario and he keeps kidnapping her?
I mean, I could see the tinfoil hat in that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe she's just trying to have a good time.
Right.
Maybe she's,
Exactly.
No,
See?
you come to my party. And then Mario's just like, no, you come back here.
She doesn't even know she's being captured.
I mean, Bowser's a family man. He's got
Right.
A kid and everything. I mean,
Right.
No, but honest,
I don't understand why she doesn't stay, though. I mean, he's got like 8 castles,
Dude's
70
loaded.
fortresses, and then some of which fly, by
And
the
he-
way,
and he's
and an amazing
Yeah,
interior decorator.
absolutely.
and he's
All
like
the
a
fountains and
snapping
everything.
turtle dragon
And he's
man.
a king.
Yeah.
It would unite kingdoms.
True enough. Why
It's
wouldn't
a political
she? Yeah,
move.
absolutely. Yeah. I honestly, as much as because I mean, if you follow any video game news out there, Nintendo has been catching quite a bit of flack lately for some of the decisions they make and stuff like that. But it's always just been. I mean, I grew up with it too. I'm right there with you. We talk about it all the time. How Brian's wearing a Nintendo shirt right now. It's like we're able to play online right now, and you get to, it's great to play with your friends these games like League, or I play Counter-Strike, and connecting people via MMOs and whatnot. Nintendo's always been the console that I've been like, I'm getting some friends to come over, I'm busting out the Wii, or I'm busting out the GameCube or something like that. It's always been that we're together and we want to play a video game.
Right.
Nintendo's where I'm going to go. It's got the best party games, hands down. I mean, PlayStation, Xbox have great games, definitely, but I don't know. There's just something about having your friends around and playing Mario Kart or Smash Brothers or something. You can't beat it. You really
and
can't.
for such a family-friendly, company, they have a lot of games that ruin friendships. A
Oh,
lot.
absolutely.
That is a great point. Absolutely.
Mario Party. Come
Mario
on
Party
over.
will ruin your palms and your friendship.
Absolutely.
Rainbow Road. Oh my god.
Oh god. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for taking the time out and hanging out with us for a minute.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Cool.
Good deal.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the night. We will be here as well.
Most definitely.
Gaming
Cool.
it like crazy.
Take care.
For sure. All right, and we are back with just the three of us here. Got to talk to some amazing people and hear some amazing stories about influences in gaming. I don't really think we had any duplicate answers, really. I can't think of any.
I can't either.
Like, everybody had their own. I mean, that just goes to show you, like, how influencing gaming in general is. It's pretty awesome. And, I'm just blown away by how, like... Not even so much that we got so many different answers, but that every single person seemed to be so passionate and so into it.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, like, it's just so cool to see that, especially, for people that are just meeting us for the first time.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Gamers are going to talk about their games when you ask them.
Gamers gonna game.
Gamers gonna game.
Absolutely. And Mark, what did you think about the interviews?
I enjoyed sitting in and listening to them and making everyone just a little bit nervous because I'm just in the corner staring.
You were eyeballing
judging
people. It was
them.
kind of creepy. If I wasn't wearing my Pikachu hat, people would have been scared.
Yeah.
So
Well, at least I wasn't
good thing.
standing outside.
That
the
would have been
window
weird.
Like
That would've
last
been-
time.
We
creeping
need
everyone
at
out.
some point. We'll get a picture of me with my Pikachu hat and my headphones and post it on the
And your
Facebook page
dongles.
or something. And my dongles.
Yep.
Totally. All right, so let's knock out a top 5 gaming influences. Now, other than games, like, just real quick, what else has influenced you guys as far as gaming?
Other than games?
Other than games. Characters, companies, any of that stuff. I mean, Square Enix obviously has influenced me quite a bit. Nintendo, growing up, for sure.
Nintendo.
Valve.
Yeah.
Yeah, Valve and Square for sure.
Blizzard.
Blizzard. No, I mean,
I still remember playing.
They're bringing you into new genres. Of
I
course
know.
they're
I
influencing
still
you.
remember playing Warcraft 1 and doing the cheat codes for, I can't remember. I don't remember which All My Glittering Prizes is from, but
Glittering Prizes is from 2.
2, yeah. Yep. I just remember doing all the cheat codes and getting all the gold and steamrolling the armies. Just as a kid, you were so young, you didn't really know how RTSs worked, but dang it, if you cheated, you could just get it wind.
True enough. All right, well, let's get into it then. Top 5 influential games. Now, these are games that are personally influential to us, so it's
Right.
not like games that we think influence the gaming world necessarily, and which were more influential than others and stuff. Because even then, you're going to have different opinions.
They're not necessarily even good games or games in general.
Just games that influence
Why are you looking
us
at me?
one way or the other, because Mark's got a... What do you know? Mark's got an iffy list.
Yeah, he's got
Shocker.
My list is not
This is
iffy.
totally, like... I mean, it's even more opinionated than normal opinion
Right.
ones that we do, and he still found a way.
You even said, Mark, I don't want you to do one of your typical Mark moves and put questionable items on your
That's
list.
actually not
I
what
thought
he
this
said.
would be a tough one for him, but
Yeah.
he
That's
found a
not-
way.
Yeah.
He found a way.
I disagree.
I'm impressed.
I love it.
I was highly influenced by every game on my list.
I have no doubt.
And the non-games on your list.
There's none of those.
All right. Honorable mentions? Anybody?
Dear Esther, for sure, is an honorable mention for me.
Original Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I would say Mario 64.
Oh, yeah.
Be one of my honorable mentions.
Final Fantasy 1.
Brought me into 3D.
Final Fantasy 1, really?
Oh, yeah.
FF1.
Interesting. I didn't play it till way later on. so-
Interdasting.
It was either that or Ultima 3 was my first RPG ever. I can't remember which.
I would say it's not on my list, but honorable mention for sure. Xenogears for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first game that really introduced me to complex storylines, and when the first time I played it, I couldn't finish it because it was so daunting, and I'm just like, this is not the kind of video game that I'm used to. There's so much reading,
Mhm.
and I don't even understand half of the stuff that they're talking about, and I just want robots and to shoot stuff.
As a
you know,
kid.
the older I got though, and I actually played it and read it and listened to all the different storylines that are coming. You played the game. There's freaking tons of storylines in there.
It's a novel.
It just really, really showed me what video games could be, and
Mhm.
really opened my eyes to that. So
Yep.
for sure, Xenogears.
Xenogears.
Okay, let's get into it. Who wants to start us off? Brian, I don't think you've started this in a while.
Yeah, okay, my number 5 is actually a old computer game called X-Wing. There's also one called TIE Fighter, and then there's one called X-Wing / TIE Fighter. I played all 3 of them, I believe. Our dad worked in computers all our life, so we got access to computers back early 90s when not all people had personal computers at home. That was not a normal thing. Now it's like, if you don't have a computer, you're pretty much not even human. Okay, but now back then, it wasn't necessarily a thing that was norm. Everybody had TV, but not a personal computer, and you know, with DOS, shareware. But one of my friends had X-Wing and TIE Fighter, and man, playing in space, flying around in space, all this freedom, killing Star Destroyers.
Good old Star Destroyers.
So that the game inspired me to really like. It gave me the inspiration that, okay, these games can get really, really epic. You know, like I couldn't believe that you could literally kill a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, and it was such a, it was fun.
Nice.
Thanks.
Solid.
So X-Wing / TIE Fighter was my number 5.
Solid.
Yep.
Mark, number 5.
All right. Now that we've just gotten through talking to everyone and hearing these inspiring stories about why they love video games, I'm going to kick off my list by being a complete sourpuss.
He is.
And saying Kingdom Hearts is one of my most influential games I've played.
That's great, Mark. Why?
Because it taught me that I have no patience for bad game design, for games that make me repeat myself, for games that have
the internet just fell over.
Uninteresting challenges in them. For instance, all of the like ship flying portions of the game.
Wait, I thought you were just describing Stanley Parable though. So I'm just saying.
Only one of those 3 things describes Stanley Parable.
I was going to say I'm trying to help you here, but JJ's got a point.
Other than the ship, obviously.
Sorry,
I didn't mean to throw you off.
You just derailed me. No, I see the merits of the game. It's a really good game. It's very well voice acted, but
it inspired you to know your limits.
It made me realize that I'm not necessarily going to enjoy going back and playing old classics every time.
I have that same issue. I'm having that same issue with Suikoden. It's I don't know what it is, but maybe my nostalgia button's at very low. My nostalgia takes in at very low, but playing older games is just kind of, sometimes it feels like a chore to me.
Yeah.
Compared to the newer games of today. I don't know.
I think Mark's just trying to put it in longer, like more words, that he hates Kingdom Hearts, but he likes Mickey.
Yeah.
Like, well, I like Mickey.
Mickey's good.
You know? Derailed him again. Got him again. It's
No,
okay.
there's some other good characters in there.
Oh, like Donald and Goofy.
Yeah, Donald and Goofy were good.
Okay, good. I'm glad you found some positives in there.
It was a good game.
Man,
it was very frustrating.
Yeah.
All right, solid. Well, influence nonetheless.
That's right.
So you got it.
There you go.
My number 5 is GoldenEye 007.
Oh, yeah.
For Nintendo 64.
I would have put that on my honorable mention had you not had that on your list.
This was the first game that I realized video games could be cool. Like, playing this with just tons of people in the same room. And this was actually when I realized that I was good at video games. Like, I remember sitting in high school, I was in theater, and we had cast parties after every play. And I remember several cast parties where we would go back to somebody's house, and we'd all be hanging out and eating and drinking and whatnot, and somebody would fire up GoldenEye. And we did that thing where, like, 4 people are playing, and it's like, all right, winner stays, the other 3 have to rotate out. And, like, I swear, I only rotated out, like, twice the entire night.
That's
it was
nice.
Phenomenal. And I was like, I'm really, really good at this. And, like, I felt so good.
Accomplished.
And other people were, like, you know, cheering and going crazy, stuff like that. And that was, like, that was kind of almost validation in a way, because I felt good that I was good at playing video games, that I liked video games. And that was just, it hit really hard. And obviously, it's freaking GoldenEye. It made such a huge impact on the gaming world in general when it came out. And games today still go back and you can see hints from back then. So that's my number 5, GoldenEye 007. Brian, number 4, sir.
My number 4 is Halo Combat Evolved, for the exact same reason you put GoldenEye 007 down on your list. I
I got really good at Halo multiplayer. First of all, I love the story, but that's not what inspired me. There were several games that had better stories than Halo Combat Evolved. I played Halo 1 competitively often. We had a friend named Sam. We'd go over to his house and play like 7 or 8 of us in this one house throughout different rooms. I played it in college. We'd sneak into rooms at midnight and use the college's projectors to play. And I got really good. I got a reputation of being really good. In fact, me and this other guy named Lane always had to be on separate teams because we were the best. And I got that sense of like, come on. I can't say my screen name on air because it was a very bad word, but that was the thing. His screen name was Running Riot, and mine was a bad name, and that we could not be on the same team. We always had to be captains and pick our team. So
that's great. Yep. All right, Mark, number 4.
Oh man, my number 4 is the very first-person game I ever played. It was Journeyman Project.
All right, what did you hate about this one?
No, I liked this one. That's a good one. I'm done being negative.
Why are you so surprised?
How did it inspire you? What's the inspiration there?
I started out as a Nintendo gamer. I had the original NES. I had played Mario, Zelda, Final Fantasy. Those games are all, in some way, third-person games. And for some reason, my cousins, who don't play video games, had a PC, and this PC had Journeyman Project on it.
Right.
And when I went to visit them, I played it. And it's sort of like Myst, where it's this first-person game where you can traverse environments.
Puzzle solving?
Solve puzzles, but you're also a time cop, and you're going back in time to like fix things that have been changed throughout history.
That's cool.
And it was just something I'd never experienced anything like it before. It was a complete change from the stuff I had been playing on the
awesome.
NES.
It's one of those revolutionary moments.
Exactly, and it's not the best one in the series, but it was the first game of its type that I'd ever played. So
very cool.
There you have it.
My number 4 is Counter-Strike. Cool little story. The first time that I ever experienced Counter-Strike was with Mark, and I doubt he even remembers it. It was at your parents' house. It was in high school. I came over to hang out with your brother, and you were on the upstairs computer, and he was playing on the downstairs computer.
Oh, wait. Oh, God.
Right. And I remember you guys were just playing one-on-one, just Counter-Strike, going at it. And I remember John running through the level and doing what he was doing. And then I see him see you and start shooting. And then I just hear this blood-curdling scream from upstairs, which was you just screaming super loud. And I'm just like, oh, well, you found him. And that's what I remember from that. But I actually, after that, I didn't even really think of it, didn't play it that much or anything. But I still remember that just because it was such a funny time. And I still knew the name, knew the game and everything like that. And then I started hanging out at this game store called 31st Century that's local here in Kansas City. And met a couple of guys up there who were playing. Eventually started playing with them just for fun. We eventually formed a team and played online in a league for a while. Went to a bunch of tournaments, won a few of them. My mouse pad that I use is like 10 years old, and it's one of the first things I ever won in one of those tournaments.
That's cool.
And I still keep it around just because it means so much to me. But Counter-Strike was really the game that got me into competitive gaming, and I really was always the guy who, and you can still see a big shadow of that now. I'm really big into cooperative stuff. Yeah. I'm really big into playing with others rather than against others. But Counter-Strike was just the game where it was okay to play against somebody else because it was just such a great experience. And maybe it was just because I was with the other guys and having a good time with that. But
and you're good at it too. You're by far the best here.
It's still such a great game, and it's on Source and Go now, and I still hop on every now and then.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. So that's my number 4. Counter-Strike. Brian, number 3.
My number 3 is Maniac Mansion 2: Day of the Tentacle. Actually, this game is coming out. A remaster's being made of it
on GOG, right?
On Good Old Games. And you guys, if you especially, if you haven't played it, you have to pick this up and play it. It's very similar to Telltale Games, point-and-click adventure games. This game inspired me to realize that games can make me roll on the floor laughing. It was one of the funniest games, written by, of course, David Schaefer,
The NPR correspondent?
Right. Correct. No, Tim Schafer. When he worked at LucasArts. But, guys, this game inspired me to realize that I feel like it paved the way for games like Portal, like games that have a real sense of, like, comedy.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
It's Sam and Max the same way, but Day of the Tentacle was, my friend had it, let me borrow it, and as a kid, the humor is definitely adult, but as a kid, they kind of did that thing where Pixar movies will have the adult humor, but the kids will also laugh too. It was fantastic. It inspired me to really, really enjoy like comedy in games. So, Day of the Tentacle, definitely good.
Mark, number 3.
My number 3 is one of JJ's favorite games, Deus Ex.
I never really played it.
I know you didn't touch on it very much.
I played about 10 minutes of it.
This is a FPS RPG game by Ion Storm. Warren Spector was the designer of it. I can just go on encyclopedic like that for a while, but I won't. This is probably one of the most non-linear games I had played up to this point in my gaming life. I think it came out in 2000. Is that correct?
Yep.
I mean, think about 2000. That's before Halo. That's before Half-Life 2. That's before all that stuff. And this game drops you into places like Hong Kong, where you can literally go anywhere you want to go. You can tackle the missions in any order, find entire like subplots that you don't have to go into. That if you do, you can get awesome bonuses and just amazing context into the world. And sorry, you guys are looking all around like.
Sorry, the gunshots are making me duck and cover.
People are playing Rock Band out there.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the drums.
So, I mean,
no
RPG, FPS.
My brother Kyle loves Deus Ex. I've never played it, the first one, but he played it and raves about it.
Yeah.
So you and him have that in common, where Deus Ex is one of those revolutionary games that came out, and you're like, whoa.
We wouldn't have BioShock or anything like that if it wasn't for Deus
Agreed.
Ex.
Mm-hmm.
So
would you say it's very Machiavellian?
Yeah, the plot a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3 is World of Warcraft. Now, I've got plenty of influential like MMOs that I've played over the years. Dark Age of Camelot, I actually almost put that one on my list simply because it was the first one that I ever really got into. Great game, and it was the first one that I ever, I was an officer in my guild. It was the first game I ever did raiding. I learned all the terminology. Like, I remember the first time I asked a buddy of mine, like, hey, what does root the ads mean? And he's like, what, seriously? And I'm like, God, well, yeah, I'd never played this before. I don't know what that means, man. And, found out what all that stuff means and everything, and it kind of fostered that. But once I played World of Warcraft, I actually, I don't know, it took it to the next level. I played since launch, but once I met a guy that I used to work with named Chris, he got me transferred over to his server, and then he got me into actual raiding and playing seriously for the first time, like for real.
Yeah.
I had never ever experienced that before. I'd always heard about people who went on big endgame raids and did this stuff and progression and all that stuff, and it never really meant much to me because I was like, well, you just play the game, whatever. Wrath of the Lich King was the first expansion that I played where I was heavy into it, and taking down the Lich King for the first time was, I'll never forget how that felt. It was spectacular.
You're getting in your seat and you're cheering.
Right. Yeah, and you
slap your head like this.
Got it. No. But you've got everybody else that's on Ventrilo and everything, and you're all screaming into your headsets. And after months of trying to get there, taking down all these other bosses, it's an amazing feeling.
Kind of an undescribable feeling unless you do it. Yeah.
And sadly, I haven't gotten that feeling since from any other raid that I've done after that. And maybe it was because it was the group I was with,
and it was your first.
Exactly. Yeah. But it just really, really drove home like. Whenever I hear people talking about endgame rating in any MMO, regardless of what it is, I can relate.
Right.
Because of World of Warcraft, because of being able to get into a group like that. It was an amazing experience, and I'm still really good friends with a lot of people that play it.
That's the thing, lasting friendships.
Yep, absolutely. All right, number 2, Brian.
My number 2 is a little game I like to call Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Hey,
this game, my friend had it. And I played a little bit of it, and I just freaking fell in love with it. And if I remember right, our dad was never really into video games. All our life, he's kind of thought that they were bad. You know, that you shouldn't be playing video games. You're wasting your time. But I just remember him bringing that home. He would go on vacation a lot when we were a lot younger. He would, or not vacation, he'd go on business trips. So he'd be gone for like a week at a time. This particular one, he brought this game home. We talked about wanting that game, and he actually brought, this is one of the very few games that he brought. So, Dad, I hate to tell it to you. I know you don't listen to the podcast, but this game gave me more fuel to be a gamer. So, even though he hated video games, hated us playing video games, he helped push it. I had probably beaten Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past a dozen times. It's one of those games that I can't really pinpoint what inspired me about it, but it basically fostered my budding gamership, I guess I could say. It got in my body and sprouted, and it made me really, really, really entrenched into being a video gamer. I just remember this game being one of the ones that was really locked me into being a gamer.
And to be honest, I think maybe it's a Nintendo thing, because you see the same thing with Mario. Yep. From Mario Super Mario World to Mario 64, but that leap from the Nintendo Zelda to A Link to the Past, and then to Ocarina,
unbelievable.
I mean, wow.
Yeah,
it's stellar. Funny story about Link to the Past. My cousin, who used to beat me up all the time when I was a kid, he knew I was into video games, but he was kind of selfish a lot. If I would go over to his house and I would want to play video games, he would hide Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past in his ceiling tile so that I couldn't play that game.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's lengths right there.
Because he was he's like, I don't want anybody else to touch my game. I don't want anybody to accidentally erase it. And honestly, the reason was, it's like, how stupid do you think I am, dude? He just didn't want people to get farther than him.
Right.
But it's like, he would hide it in the freaking ceiling tile, and it's like, oh, it looks cool. I want to try it. Okay. All right. You're bigger than me. I can't do much. So.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, fantastic game, though.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
really fostered my love of gaming.
Thanks, Mark, Dad. Number 2.
Well, it wouldn't be a Mark list without Suikoden on it in some form.
There we go.
I went ahead and put the first Suikoden on there because I wouldn't have gotten into the series.
All right. Do we have to do this? We're going to talk about it on the next episode.
No, we're going to talk about this is the first one, though.
Jeez, Mark.
I'm going to ruin what you're saying.
I
don't think that I would be the same kind of...
What Brian said.
I don't think that I would be the same kind of gamer, really consumer of media, if it wasn't for the Suikoden series.
So this one was like your Link to the Past, where it fostered your...
Exactly, definitely.
Entrenched you into gamership.
It's what took me, someone who loved Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy VII, Chrono Cross, all those games, and made me realize that you can have a mature story that doesn't just have a bunch of weird JRPG tropes in it.
Right.
It made me really appreciate political intrigue and gray morality.
Mm-hmm.
And
without
that game series,
who knows?
Who knows? So there you have it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
My number 2, I owe to Brian.
Hey! Hi, guys, I'm Brian.
My number 2 most influential games, the Mass Effect trilogy. Not only is it absolutely fantastic, absolutely loved it, had a great time with it and everything like that, this series, playing through it and getting the opportunity to actually, taking the time to actually go through it and play something that I would not have normally otherwise played. I've mentioned before, I thought it was like some kind of just total shooter.
Broken
and I was
shooter.
Like, yeah, it's so dumb. I don't even have any interest. I'm not a big sci-fi guy, blah, 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 whatever. Gave it a chance. Played it all the way through. Absolutely adored it. This game taught me that I need to step out of my shell every now and then. It's okay to do that. It's okay to hop into other games that I may not have originally wanted to play. I've played so many other games because of it. The Witcher, I would have probably never played.
Right.
Freaking Uncharted. So many different games that I'm going through now and getting the experience that I otherwise would not have had I not had an impact like the Mass Effect trilogy. It really just drove home the point that JRPGs are great, man, but there's so much out there, and you're going to be kicking yourself if you realize too late that you missed all this good stuff.
Well, and I would have never played Xenogears Chrono Trigger, likely, without this podcast. I think that's what the best thing is you step out of your... And those two are, Suikoden 1 and 2. I would have probably never played them, to be quite honest with you, and I'm really glad that I did, because JRPGs aren't my favorite genre, just like JJ said, so I totally understand what you're saying, like where you go, okay, you know what? Everyone says it's good. It's not necessarily the genre that I'm used to, but I'm going to give it a try. Couldn't be happier that I did.
Right, and that doesn't mean you need to play every single game that comes out.
No,
that you don't find any interest in. But there, if you see something that you might like, and somebody, just don't discount it completely.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
At least
Cliché.
learn about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's my number 2, the Mass Effect trilogy.
Fantastic.
Number 1's Brian.
It's not the Mass Effect trilogy, and everybody's going to be like, wait, why?
Neither one of us have our favorite games on our list.
I don't think Mass Effect really inspired me in any way. That sounds weird because it's my favorite game. It's just my favorite game. Like, it didn't really give me...
I know exactly what you're saying.
Right.
You knew you liked that kind of game.
Correct.
It didn't expand you in
I am
any
a
way.
sci-fi nerd, which is weird because I'm not really that big into Star Trek or Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I'm a sci-fi nerd, so I knew I would love Mass Effect. I actually didn't love it at first. I bought it, and then I didn't like to read all the dialogue. This is back when I was a bro gamer, and then I shipped it away, and then back when I got into it again. Anyway, wow, I went on a tangent. Mass Effect is not my number 1. My number 1 is World of Warcraft. By far the most inspirational game in my life. I played it off and on up until recently for 10 years, since 2005. I stole the account from my younger brother, Corey, when he let me try it, this new game that came out, and I was just like, well, can you just go buy a new one, and I'll just keep my character who's already level 20? And I have friends to this day that I've met solely through that game. Garrett and Greg, for one. If you're listening to this podcast, hi. We actually had a couple friends come down from Washington? St. Louis? Okay, St. Louis.
Right by Washington.
Right by
Same
Washington.
country.
Anyway, we had people come actually meet us, and they were in our guild. Like JJ said, my first kill was Ragnaros, and the feeling you get from a game like that where you're working with a community and you accomplish something together and you're all screaming, 40 of us, screaming on vent, and then slapping my face when I got a really good weapon that I liked out of Zul'Farrak, or Zul'Gurub, and smacking my face and
I just got a stupid mount out of that place.
World of Warcraft, no other game inspired me more. No other game sucked me in more. Recently quit it, sadly, but that by far is my number 1 most inspirational game that I've ever played.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Mark?
My number 1 is Cities Skylines.
That's funny.
That would be
kidding.
hilarious.
It's funny. Just kidding. Like Brian said with Mass Effect. I already know I like that kind of game.
Yeah.
It didn't teach me anything.
So Cities
shape me.
Skylines is your
So
Mass
it's not.
Effect?
It's not. Yes, it is.
That's your
actually.
favorite game?
No. I'm saying
Well,
it
that's
didn't.
his favorite game.
It didn't shape me because I already knew that I liked that kind of game.
Right.
Continue.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
My actual number 1 is Final Fantasy VI, because this game taught me that gaming is worth moving mountains for. This was the first SNES game we played. I actually learned about the game's existence from just some kid that we went to church with, because we had played the original Final Fantasy, and he's like, "You guys played Final Fantasy VI on the SNES?" And we're like, "What?" I guess he said 3. Sorry, he said 3. JJ tried to call me out.
I opened my mouth and you cut me off.
And we're like, "What? There's another one!" And when we found that out, we started saving up our allowances for months.
That's hilarious.
And we had to go to GameCo with our NES and all of our games and trade all of them in to get the new console in the one game, and it was worth it.
Oh yeah, that's quite a game to start on too.
Yeah,
especially back then.
Yeah,
that was the game that taught me how wonderful this whole experience could be.
Yeah,
I knew you had a good gaming story in there somewhere. That was good.
Look at Marco.
It was good.
Let me tell
Yeah.
a story.
It's me,
That's great,
Marco.
man. All right.
Fantastic, Mark.
And amazing game, by the way. I hear it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I have played and beaten this game.
All right. My number 1 is Final Fantasy 4.
Wait,
Oh,
JJ,
whoa.
why is Final Fantasy 4 not Final Fantasy 6 on your list?
Because, again, Final Fantasy 6 is my favorite game of all time, and I absolutely love it. but it didn't hit me in a way that Final Fantasy IV did. Final Fantasy IV was the game that got me into RPGs and taught me that that's the genre that I wanted to be with, and marry.
It was your gateway drug. Yeah.
Essentially. Like, I remember I went over to, I was in, I want to say it was like 6th grade, something like that, and a friend of mine from school was having his birthday party, and he was saying, like, we're gonna watch a movie, we're gonna eat candy and play video games later on. And I go, well, do you want me to bring anything and stuff? He goes, do you have Mario Paint? And I was like, yeah,
who doesn't?
Mario Paint? Because those were the kind of games that I had at the time: Super Mario World, Mario Paint, and just generic that kind of stuff. Well, get over to his house, bring Mario Paint, and we watch a movie, hang out, and everything like that. And there was a good 15, 20 of us there. And him and another friend of his start playing Final Fantasy VI on the TV, and I thought it looked so cool. Like, I was like immediately drawn to the sprite graphics. Immediately thought the battle system looked amazing, and I was just like, "What is this? This looks unreal! Like, this is nothing I've ever seen before."
You said Final Fantasy VI. You mean 4?
Correct.
Okay,
No, I mean
okay,
6.
6.
It's 6 that I saw them playing, and I'm sitting there and I'm captivated. Everybody else is doing their own thing, and I'm just watching these two guys play this game, and it was actually watching them play as Terra walk through Narshe, and I vividly remember that. It's so cool that I still do.
Mm-hmm.
So they get done playing, and so we play a little Mario Paint and whatnot, and he goes, so what's it going to take for me to be able to borrow Mario Paint from you? And I was like, well, you got any games that I can borrow? And he saw me eyeing Final Fantasy 3.
Right.
And he's like, well, I just got that, so sorry, man. This one's kind of like it, though, and he hands me 2.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I guess, because if you look at the cartridges, the stickers look very similar.
Sure.
The layout, the design, and everything like that. Colors are different, obviously, and there's a Moogle on the one for 3.
Right.
I know way too much about that stuff.
Yes, you do.
But I take home 2, and I pop it in, and I start playing it, and, I mean, right off the bat, the music that came through, Cecil flying through the air with the red wings, taking the crystal. I played it all the way till he becomes a paladin, and, like, I had never, ever seen anything like that before.
Right.
And I knew within the first, 15, 20 minutes that this was going to be one of my favorite games that I'd ever played. And when I finally had to give the game back, I don't know, a couple weeks later, my Mom, I love you so much. I know you're probably not listening right now, but seriously, you're so patient. She drove me around to 6 different places trying to buy this game for me because she knew that I was so into it. And I was sitting there, and we're driving around, and I'm telling her about Cecil and about Rydia and about all these other characters from the game, and telling her what it's about.
That's nice,
stuff.
honey.
And pretty much that's kind of how it was. But she could tell that it really meant something to me, and because of that, I know this is a long-winded story, and I apologize, but this game just means so freaking much to me. And I mean, that just goes to show you, even if it's not your favorite in the world, you can still have stuff that just hits you right in your gut. And that's what Final Fantasy IV is to me. It's
your gateway drug.
Still to this day, one of my favorite games of all time. Might not be on my top 5 list, but man, it's spectacular.
Yep.
So, okay, that's our top 5 personal influential games. I'd really like to get some emails and feedback on this. FrozenNorthPodcast@gmail.com. Please write some stuff in. It can be anything. It can be an influential game that you want to talk about. You can do your top 5 like we just did. It can be an influential character, a company that does gaming that's hit you really hard. Genre, anything that you want to talk about. Shoot us an email. I'd love to keep this discussion going. Bring it on in the next episode. We're still here at SoPro. We're going to go game.
Yeah.
We want to play. So we're probably I'm making these guys do our closer in the morning. So we all got to stay up. We all got to be here.
We've got
so
8 hours to go.
Tired.
Yep.
I'm already losing my voice. I can feel it.
I'm going to go pop a 5-hour energy.
Right. But we'll be back, and we'll close her out. Let's go have some fun.
Let's go game it.
All right. We have a special guest.
A very special guest.
We are here with
the brother.
It's my brother Kyle, everybody.
The actual gamer in the family.
No, okay.
Man.
Whoa.
Back up.
The original gamer of the family.
He played a lot of JRPGs that I wasn't really into, and I watched him play a lot of that stuff.
There was plenty of stuff that you talked about where it wasn't a JRPG, and you're like, oh, well, my brother Kyle played it.
Silent Hill 2.
Can you do us a favor and start off by saying Opera House?
Opera House. That's exactly how. That's exactly how it would happen when he came down the stairs in my top floor apartment.
Well, it was more like Opera House.
Opera House.
Makes perfect sense. I mean, I could see him doing that.
Yeah.
Especially since we learned at the beginning of the show that there were no stairs either. So
I may have misremembered this conversation.
So, I mean, we've been talking about inspirations in gaming, and obviously, I mean, I've seen your freaking collection, and it's brutally awesome.
We call it Mount Games.
It is pretty damn awesome. What actually, as far as gaming goes, makes you tick, though? What has inspired you?
Well, it all kind of harkens back to Final Fantasy is what really started it. One of my earliest gaming memories, back on the Super Nintendo, we used to go to Blockbuster and pick out the coolest looking game based off of only cover art.
Right, that's all we had.
Because, I mean, we didn't have gaming magazines. There was not really internet at the time.
Yep.
And so we just looked at the cover and picked out what looked interesting. And on a whim, Brian and I, we rented Final Fantasy II for the Super Nintendo. And I'm not sure we made it very far in that game, but
I know you made it pretty far. But I just remember the mist dragon in the cave. That's the big memory I have from that game.
Yeah, that's the first boss. It's like maybe 15 minutes in.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, we were pretty young,
but
and
you got the airship though. I thought I'm pretty sure you were flying around on the airship at one point.
I honestly, from back then, I really just remember Kane and Cecil.
Yeah,
that's my big memory of that. And so that was kind of what got me started. I was telling you guys this story earlier, but I have one memory of being in Walmart, and I'm not sure what the occasion was, but my mom was letting each of us pick out a game. And so Brian gravitated over to that Beast Wars / Frogger 2-pack.
Funny story. Yes. They never actually produced that Beast Wars game. It was like packaged.
It was like a beta.
It was like
That's
a
so
Frogger Beast Wars. I was a huge Beast Wars collector back then, so I saw that. I had to buy effing Frogger for that. But
in his mind, he was going like, "I'm gonna get a game that Kyle's gonna watch me play."
No, that was a big inspiration for Brian. Was
well, and that Beast Wars game was a real dumpster fire too, wasn't it?
It was awful.
Horrible.
Oh yeah, you guys need to go Google.
Yeah.
This was probably early '90s Beast Wars game, mid '90s maybe.
Needless to say, he won that battle of picking out good games.
Yeah, so we're looking at computer games, and this was kind of I think we probably had this might have been in between Nintendo 64 and right around that time. And so we had either that or a Super Nintendo, and we had a PC. We were kind of PC gamers back then. Looking in the computer game section, I stumbled upon Final Fantasy VII. Well, I remembered playing Final Fantasy II. Couldn't remember what number the game was, but
right.
So I'm thinking, hey, that's that game that I remember playing with Brian,
right?
And it's Final Fantasy, and so I, on a whim, got Final Fantasy VII, thinking it was Final Fantasy II, and that kind of opened the floodgates for me. That was about the first game, the first JRPG I ever beat.
Yeah, I still remember him when he first got Ifrit the summon. Was like, Brian, you have to come see this move.
Oh, that game when it came out, that was one of the biggest draws. That's missing so much from the new Final Fantasy games is getting a new summon and wanting to just see it, come alive.
And then I remember watching the first time we saw all the Bahamut's. He showed me all and we're just like,
mm-hmm.
And then of course he eventually went back and got Knights of the Round.
Brian just made a surprised face since we're audio.
But he went back and got Knights of the Round, and that was when we were just like, what is this thing? Because that was like a 10-minute move pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The funny thing about that was being my first JRPG, I was so bad at that game that the very first boss, the mechanical scorpion boss, that once his tail goes up, he'll auto-attack you or counter-attack you if you hit him. Well, yeah, I could never figure that out, and so I kept getting killed on that boss over and over again.
The game tells you he will counterattack with its laser.
I never saw that. I mean, I was, 8?
Yeah, we were very young.
my only other JRPG being the 15 minutes I played of Final Fantasy II.
Right.
And
quite different too.
In the instruction manual, they had a little sample of the strategy guide, and it got me through that boss reading it. And so my dad or mom ordered me the strategy guide, and I used the strategy guide, got through that game, and became a JRPG fan.
Yep.
Heck yeah. And I mean, you and I have a very similar taste in what we play, and I mean, we kind of go back and forth on like you'll see me on there playing a JRPG or something like Tales of Zestiria, perfect example. You saw me on the other night, like how is it? And you requested the the to watch thing, and they have a block on that game, unfortunately. So you can't stream it and you can't share it and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Like audio is the only thing that comes through.
Yay!
Yeah, audio is not really what you're going to sell a Tales game with.
No, right. The music in that game is great, but still, yeah. I mean, it's like you would just end up hearing like yeah, and that's about it. And then like the taglines.
That game sounds great.
So you're right. Cool, man. I mean, anything else you got? You want to throw out there?
Persona.
He's really into
everyone
Persona.
play that.
Yeah.
Persona 3, I tell you. I just got into that in the past year or so, but that's one of those games that after you beat it, you just sit there watching the credits and you don't even say a word. You just watch the credits. And
you haven't been into Persona yet, have you, JJ?
I have not, and everybody keeps telling me I need to.
Yeah.
I want to. I really want to. I have so much. Man,
we have backlog first
So
world
much.
problems.
Yeah, they're long. They're long games.
For sure. I'm excited to try them out, though.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Well, thanks for taking the time out. And finally, 74 episodes in, people can hear the voice of the infamous brother. The one who played the games growing up. Oh, man. Okay, well, we're here to game, and we'll game some more, so we will see you out there.
All right, guys. See you in the Opera House.
Opera House.
All right, and we are back, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty freaking tired.
I'm actually not. I'm wired. So I feel like gaming is going to happen for another several hours.
I drank a Monster, and then you gave me a 5-hour energy, so, like, my body is, like my heart's going... And like
Right.
I can do jumping jacks and all that stuff, but my eyes just want to close right now. So I feel really weird.
That's crazy.
We're getting old.
We are getting old.
I used to stay up till 4 a.m. any night of the week.
Our bodies just don't like it anymore.
Yeah, well, we have normal work schedules now too,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
a little different. But I think the old thing is probably what does it the most.
Definitely.
Either way, I would say we probably had a pretty darn good time tonight.
I feel like this was a fantastic success.
Honestly, I loved playing games and stuff, and I was having a good time doing that. And I'm going to go out and get a little more game time in. But for me, the highlight was definitely getting to talk to everybody. It was just awesome. Everybody was so great and so open and just coming in. And I mean, you put a gamer in front of a mic, and who knew they just go for it. And it's just so awesome.
Yep.
We got a lot of good stuff, and I want to say a big thank you to everybody who did take the time out to come and talk with us. I enjoyed it so much, and I'm pretty sure. Well, I know Brian did because he was a part of it, and Mark watched.
Mark did watch.
We only have 4 mics. I'm sorry, we only have 4 mics.
It's exactly.
I don't know what to tell you. We do actually have 5 mics, but the other one doesn't work very well. So, anyways. Do you guys have anything else? I think we're gonna kind of wrap it up, maybe game a little bit more, and then eventually head out. But I'm pretty much tapped out for right now. Anybody else?
I'm good. Here's what I want to say. I just want to say,
that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want to say it's cool how Kansas City has really grown in terms of gaming in the last couple of years.
Kansas City.
Absolutely.
Kansas City.
Yeah, the Kansas City.
Kansas City. Say hey.
And it's places like this that are helping that happen.
Exactly.
And I mean, you heard it from some of the people out there. They are acknowledging the fact that they are getting to meet people here and hang out in a place like this where like-minded people are going to be.
Yep.
So it's just awesome to see, like, not have to point that out and be like, oh, you do get it. Sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So, okay, with that, this is going to be the Frozen North signing off for episode number 74. Again, thank you so much to everybody who took the time out to hang out with us, and that's pretty much all I got. You guys got anything else?
I do not.
Mark? That's that. All right, with that, my name is JJ.
My name is Mark.
And my name is Brian. Good God. My name is Brian.
And as always, keep on gaming.
Cut.
Our theme song was made available through the Creative Commons Attribution license by Ziphoid. The song title is Radical Fanfare.